Welcome you all to the course workshop. Today I am teaching first topic, first unit, engineering materials. Today, from this lecture, I am giving the classification of engineering materials and a brief overview of those classifications. The content of this lecture will be follows like as this: the importance of the materials. So I am going to discuss about the material, its existence and its importance and its role in the industry, and what are the present challenges are there in the case of engineering materials. And also we will classify about engineering materials, and only I am going to share and discussing about metals, polymers, goods and various types of goods, ceramics, and followed by summary and quiz. First of all, everybody knows the materials. In our day-to-day life, we are using so many varieties of materials. It is very difficult to imagine the human survivable without using of the material. The material may be anything, it can be any shape and can be any mode of. The material may be called as it is existing in the solid, liquid, and it may be a semi-solid also. As a human, what we are seeing and what we are touching and what we are feeling in that one is simply called as a material. So the materials as of now in our surroundings, the list is a very big. It is not like that one. The engineering part of view only I am talking. It is about a general concept I am teaching to you. The materials, what are the clothes we wear, what are the taps, what are the electronic gadgets we are using, and what are the things and what you are seeing, your surroundings. Everything is man-made thing. Once it is a man-made, then definitely one medium is required, and that medium is nothing but a material. Just imagine, I'm just thinking that like that way. Just think in this manner. If you are an engineer, and moreover you are a design engineer, you have some new techniques out there. You want to introduce new technology, and the technology wants in a real world some medium is required, and that medium is nothing but a material. The material gives its shape. The material gives a words its reality of your technology. In engineering materials, whatever the man-made things which was done in the industries, some process they have to follow. Whatever the process they followed, we call as the product outs. The products, the man-made product. The product may be a pen, or may be pointer, or may be laptop, or may be anything. It is manufactured at industries. So during the industry, some process you have to follow. It may be a single process or it may be a group of process you have to follow. And moreover, in this workshop course, you people have working in the lab about 5 types of jobs or 5 types of shops. Generally, we use about the shop. First one is a carpentry. The second one is about the fitting. The third one is house wiring. Fourth one is about tinsmithing, and fifth one is blacksmithing. In engineering, other than these 5 shops, there are so many other shops are involved, but welding and computer numerical controlled machining operations. In our university, we have all these facilities, but as per syllabus and as per curriculum point of view, you people are learning this welding and CNC machines in later coming process. In the first shop, we are dealing only about the 5 shops. Now, think about it this manner. Each shop, we are using one type of material. In a carpentry, the name itself tells, and you are familiar that jobs, what is the output of the carpentry. that is about manufacturing or making of chairs, desks, tables, all these things, wood products. So the work part, or I can say about the material which are using the carpentry is itself as a wood. The technical term we are using it called as a timber. In fitting, we are using a mild steel metal plates. In house wiring, we are using the metal bars as a main element. In steel smithing, we are using about galvanized iron metal sheets, or possibly as a 18 sheets. In blacksmithing, we are using about alloys. It may be like as a mild steel alloy or it may be a steel combination alloys. So each process one type of material we are using. Here we are not talking about any process, but pay some attention here that maybe whatever the product we are manufactured through the industries, some process are applied on the material. The process may be heating, the process may be melting and solidifying, called as a casting. The process may be about simply the bending operation, shearing operation, powder making and compacting. So much of technologies are available nowadays about the manufacturing of the products. And as an engineer, your job is about to decide what process you have to follow and required and what material is recommended in that product. If you are using about simply a pen, the pen is a product. I am just showing about this pen as an example. Now think about what type of material is used. Some may have about the metal combination or alloy combinations, right? Most of them will have about the plastics. The plastic have different categories and different types of it. So here, your job is not only about deciding about what type of manufacturing process, but it is also recommended what type of material is required about the manufacturing of the product. You have to decide. And moreover, the availability of the material and its cost. Maybe a general question I am raising here now, why the diamonds are costly, why iron is cheap, or why some materials which is called as a precious and those costs are in the very huge amount because of its availability. Now as engineer, your task is whatever the production and whatever you are going to manufacture any product, the product have been less cost. Then only the product will be utilized and used by the so many number of people. If the product cost is more, then it is limited to only a few category of people only. Now, how the cost is affected on the product? It depends not only about the technology, it also depends upon the material, what material it is made. And moreover, the availability and its cost is directly decides about the cost of the product. But because one of the objectives of the manufacturers or industries is about to get some profit. Without profit, they will not release any product in the market. So when they count about the profit, first they will calculate how much we are invested to make about single product. If the material is a costly one, then he was taking to the count, and whenever he finalizing about the finished product, then the cost will be very big. So as engineers, we have to decide what is its cost. Now, a general thing, whenever the materials you are dealing, always keep in mind about its characteristics or about its properties. The property may be a physical property, it may be thermal or optical or electrical, or it may be chemical properties. All properties are required. Why? Because we are dealing with the material, how the material is respond during the condition, about the temperature, or about the condition of the electricity, or maybe chemical reactions, or maybe optical, or any other category. The physical means it is about the size, shape, and about the structure. Physical existence, that is also a property. So before going to the second one, the second slide, I am just summarizing what we are talking about the last 10 minutes. We are just summarizing about the materials are very vast. We are occupied in everywhere. In our daily life, we can see those are so much of varieties are there. And whatever you are seeing, that is a man-made product. And when your production is happening, not only one process, but so many number of processes are applied. And moreover, as engineer, you have to decide what process, at the same time, what material is required for the manufacturing of that product. And the product availability and cost is required to take it to the account. And at last part, I just mentioned, you have to also take into the account of the properties of the materials. And I just given a small summarizing about what workshops we are using and what type of material we are taking into the account in our workshop plan. Now, this is the schematic classification. Now, this is the classification of the engineering materials. The material classification is a very big thing, very vast, so many varieties will come in the picture. But as per curriculum, particularly in the graduation of engineering students, the engineering materials, where we are, these materials plays a major role. So those classification was shown here and checked out here. Those are taken to the two categories. First one is about the metallic, another one is called as the non-metallic materials. In the metallic, it was divided into two groups, ferrous and non-ferrous. Metallic group are divided into two groups, ferrous and non-ferrous. The ferrous, I think you remember the name in your 12th standard, you come across from the ferrous is nothing but a chemical name which is called for iron. Iron we call as a ferrous. Now, based on the iron content in the material, they are divided as a iron, we call it ferrous and non-ferrous. That means in the ferrous means in that material, the major element is itself as iron. Major means you may imagine or you may consider as it is above 90%. In case of non-ferrous materials, the iron content is much less, or sometimes there is no iron absorbed. That means the definition of the ferrous and non-ferrous is given like this. Ferrous materials means the major contribution in that material is iron. It is represented as Fe, and it is about more than 90%. And whatever the classification is followed in the ferrous about the steels and cast irons, about the plain carbon and alloy steels. In the cast irons, it is followed like as a grey, white cast iron, malleable cast iron, ductile cast iron. And all these things are nothing but classification under the steels and the cast irons. In this course, we will talk about much more about these details. What is meant by steel? What are the types of the steel material? What are the properties of the steel? How can we differentiate about the steels and cast irons? All these things we will discuss in this next lecture. But as of now, we are just simply giving about the classification. And the classification is done based on metal and non-metal. The metals may be a iron content is more, then we call it as a ferrous. If there is no iron content or very less contribution is there, those are comes under non-ferrous. Those are nothing but aluminium, copper, zinc, brass, magnesium, tin, lead, nickel, so many things are there. Here when you observe this one, there are two terms I am just highlighting here. One is about element like as a magnesium, like as a copper, these are the elements in the periodic table you can see. And here we are using a term alloys also, alloy. The more number of elements are mixed together and the material composition we call as an alloy. So here in this course we are talking about the steels and the alloys each element, what element we added, for what purpose, what properties are affected. So those things we discuss, and that is your main objective of this course. And in the non-ferrous, we discuss about these aluminium and copper alloys in much more detail. And other category, which is their non-metallic materials, the classification will be followed like as organic and inorganic. The organic materials are plastic, wood, paper, rubber, leather, and petroleum, and all these are comes under organic type. The interesting thing, the petroleum is made up of, it is related to the organic group. But because the petroleum comes from the fossils, already you know all these things. And similarly, in the case of inorganic, it is about the mineral, cement, glass, ceramic, and graphite. All these are comes under the inorganic. In this course, we are not talked much about the non-metallic materials, but we will talk and we'll discuss much more detail in the case of metallic materials. And in that one, the 70% we are paying attention on the steels and cast irons, and non-ferrous we are giving a priority about 30 to 40%. And the non-metallic level is very much primary things only we are learning from this course. So once here the classification is completed, then the next coming few slides will just show you about what about these materials. So this one here, before going to talk about the steels and the cast irons and non-ferrous and organic and inorganic, the one thing I have to mention in a real world, what is the present existing situation here means, on the earth, either maybe natural or it may be man-made things, there are more than the 70,000 different kinds and different grades of the engineering materials are available. The list is going high day by day. It is going to increase day by day. And moreover, it is the difficulty about for engineers nowadays is to decide the right material in the right application. Yes, it is definitely there is a big advantage is there when you have a lot of combinational and varieties of materials. But as engineer, you decide among all that group which material is suitable for your application. Your application is related to the space technology for the making of satellites. Then what material you require? Or your application is about the naval seashore explosives. What material you will recommend? So based on the environmental, on the working conditions, the materials we have to choose are very vast. And moreover, a simple example as an automobile. For an automobile component, more than 10,000 different components and 1,000 different materials we are using nowadays. The material must be light, must be strong, must be durable. So as per satisfying and about all these parameters, so much of variety of combination of materials they are using. So once again I am summarizing about this. So on the earth, as engineering materials, there are so much of varieties are there. It is not only about the steels and cast iron, all categories of the materials. The list is day by day increasing gradually. More than 70,000 materials are available as an engineering point of view. And here, as an example of automobile, the 1,000 variety of material combination set we are trying to use. Maybe plastic or maybe alloy, different alloys. Now, the next coming slides, which is about generalized example, which is play some relaxed mode and think about these things. Right, we are using about regular life, but we don't know what material it is. Now, the three basic materials I am talking now, the one is about the metals, another one is about the polymers, composites, another one is about the ceramics. Whatever the picture you assume about the four pictures, all are comes under one category. There are ceramics are there is a chair which is a plastics, and the metal pipes are there. The next one, the metals. The metals, what are the pictures we are showing here, the two parts, the two pictures there One is about the carburetor, which is showing about which are there in the case of automobile, the engine particularly. Another one is about the casting process where the metal is melting. What is the objective I am mentioning about from this one is here, to make a product, the product type of material is not directly available. So we are going to some processing in the materials, and moreover we are melting and we are converting into suitable shape. And metals, there are physically very, when you are looking about that one, it is more denser and strong and harder materials. The metal nature is itself like that one. And the cast iron and steels, where the steels we will talk about in this course, particularly about the various types of steels, low carbon steels, medium carbon, high carbon steels, high speed steel, tool steels, stainless steels. So much of varieties are there. We are discussing these things about in the next class. And these cast irons and steels comes under the metals only. And not only that one, the steels also have, like I said, a combinational set, like as alloys. The steel, which is an alloy of iron and carbon. The brass is alloy of copper and zinc. The bronze metal. So you've heard about this one. The bronze metal is received by so and so person in so and so event. The bronze is made up of a copper and zinc. So all these things comes under the metals. The next one, the polymers. What are the tables, chairs, what we are using about the leathers, all this comes under the polymers. And it is nothing but made up of a natural, there is a called as a animal cellulose material. In the case of synthetic material, there are two types of it, thermoplastic and thermosynthesis. But what do you mean by thermoplastic? Thermoplastic means whenever you heated the thermoplastics, it will become as sagging. It will deform. I can say about it is permanently changing the size and shape. It will sag off. But the thermosets, whenever you heated the material, that material the thermosetting is become as a rigid and strong due to heating. That means a quite opposite thing is there about the thermoplastic and thermosets. In the thermoplastic, it is due to heating, it will be changed the size and become as a deformed one, like as a melted portion. Continuously heating, the plastic will be thoroughly melted and making into drops or into different shapes. Reduces it to shape. But whereas the thermosets, due to heating, it will all the thermoset plastic particles will be closed together and become as a one strong unique body. With heating, the hardness will be increasing. Right? The next one, the natural composites. What we are seeing about, we call as a timber, which is nothing but a wood. The hardwood and softwoods are there. The name itself is mentioned hard. The nature of that wood is very hard. Softwood is about a very soft one. If it is a hardwood, you have to apply a more of forces about the making of the product. The product may be a table, or it may be chairs, or it may be racks, or it may be partitions, or it may be any other kinds, which is the help of made up of wood. The softwood, of course, we have to apply a less amount of forces and energies on that one. And here, about the softwood and hardwood, we will talk about this thing much more in the unit 1 in case of carpentry. The ceramics. Till so far, we have seen about the metals, and another one is about the polymers, and the third one is the wood. The next category is about the ceramic. The ceramic is a quite opposite about the metals, and ceramics are very shiny, and ceramic bowls will be there, and ceramic structures are quite shown here. The ceramic has heat resistance materials, and it has a brittle in nature. Just when I am naming about the ceramic, I am just wrapping about what is its nature and what is its properties. You people also have learned in this way. Whenever we read about any particular type of material, we have to came to know what is that, how it will look like, what are its properties. But to know about its existence and properties, then only you are a right suitable person to decide in your application what type of material is suitable. And here the ceramics, it may be a clay based structure, bricks, or it will be like as a refractory materials, nothing but refractory means heat resistant materials. It may be glasses or it may be inorganic cements. All these are comes under the ceramic group. And what I mentioned that about the softwood and hardwood, these are the hardwoods, and very briefly I am trying to mentioning about one point. Why? Because we will talk about much about these wood in the second unit in the content. The properties will talk, the differentiation. And a hardwood, these are the trees comes under the hardwood. About ash, beech, cherry, mango, maple, oak, poplar, and walnut. All these are comes under the hardwood. And similarly, the softwood is about the cedar, cypress, pine, and redwood, and cypress. And don't think only these are the classifications. The list is very big. As scientifically on the earth, more than 30,000 variety of plant tree types are there. But here we are talking about only few categories. And here the few more categories are there in our Indian region, about in the Himalaya called as Deodar, the mango tree. All these are mango wood, called as the mango wood. All these are different types of it. And this list will be showing about as a worldwide point of view. Another one of the thing here, the man-made products, not only about the chairs and tables, but one of the most important thing is about the plywood manufacturing. Why? Because these examples I am choosing to you to explain about the introduction concept in the engineering materials. You are already exposed to this material about the woods and you are using daily life. Maybe if I am talking about the automobile and if I am talking about the shipbuild structure or it may be space technology materials, you may not adapt or you may not adapt much. That is why I am taking about the wood to give an introduction. So here about the making of the boards or plywoods, we are using about the laminated beams or maybe a particle border. So all these things are what we are doing means whatever the nature is giving about the wood, we are making it with arrangements and the alignments for these laminations. Wood is a cellulose material. The wood is a fiber structure is there. The fibers will be there. The fiber means it is a very thin, long section. The diameter is negligible. Like as you are thinking about human hair. The human hair is one long fiber. The fiber arrangement is different in the woods. The fiber of the cellulose material which is covered about this fiber is different. And those fibers we are arranging about perpendicular together because laminations to get it more stronger. That is happening in the laminated plywoods. So that is also one type of product. That is the manufacturing product. So from this one I am just giving a hint to you all. Most of the things is man-made, but direct available products of the material we are not using. Only the man-made things we are taking into account in our daily life. So I am summarizing this one. For the last 30 minutes I am talking about the classification of engineering materials which are grouped as a metal and non-metals. And the metals is a ferrous and non-ferrous. Non-metallic as a organic and inorganic. And here I described about the importance, what is the importance of the materials and the various applications. And the role about an industry and the selection, why the selection is important based on the existing of the number of materials. And here the role of important, the selection. If you are not selected the proper material, I am saying your design is a failure one. Your design also a failure one. So that is why the material engineers plays a key role in the development of the product. A simple example, the Tata Nano cars. Earlier, a few years back, when the Tata engineers and both the scientists are especially for the Ratan Tata was thinking about launching about a nano car. The price is about making it to fix about 1 lakh to 1.5 lakh. And to achieve that one, what type of materials are recommended? Well, because at that time, the huge manufacturing plants about the automobile, the cost is a minimum of 3 to 4 lakhs. And you want to change the basic parameter. They want to change further reduce. That means what they decided is not only about the design and element of this thing, the material also plays an important role. And finally, the importance we talked about these things. And from this lecture, just take note either how much it is understandable to you to addressing about these questions to you. The steel materials comes under dash. Just answer it. And aluminum, copper, and zinc comes under dash. The first two bits I am asking about either it belongs to either ferrous or non-ferrous. And I am asking about what are the name any few trees which comes under the hardwood. And the difference between the thermoplastic and the thermoset, what you understand. And brass is an alloy of dash. You just mentioned this. And the glass material comes under what category of group? Try to answer it and check it out these solutions from this lecture. And thank you all. Thank you for your pay attention. And if you have any queries related to this course, you may contact me through my mail kpc_mail@vignan.ac.in.